Hello everyone. In this video, I am going to discuss the story The Birthday Party, written by the 20th century writer Harold Pinter. So, the drama, it can be categorized under the comedy of menace, and it has all the traits of an absurd drama. So, in literature, we have different type of genres because of its structure and its notion. And in the same way, in drama, we have plenty of genres, like you have something called morality, mystery play, corpus Christi play, and then we have a closet drama, which is only meant for the purpose of reading, not to be enacted on the stage. So in that type, you have this one category, that is absurd drama, which was very prevalent during the 20th century, and it came into existence after the World War I and II, because the World War I and II, it created a great chaos in this society, and people were not lived in an order which they are expected to be so. And the writers from literature, they also questioned why literature should be in order. It can also be a fragment, and it will reciprocate the life of the 20th century people, the unmoral code which they followed, where the thousands and millions and trillions of life had been questioned out of this World War II. So this absurd drama emerged, where you have the fragmented dialogues of characters. We don't have any proper background of descriptions about the characters, and we also don't have a concrete ending for absurd drama. Most of the dramas will be ending with an open type. So open ending, where reader, they can interpret, critics can interpret, and it goes on and on. So that's the uniqueness of absurd drama. It's an open ended, and in this play also you have an open ending. And when it comes to the writer Harold Pinter, his style is known as Pinteresque. His style of writing is known as Pinteresque, and he is a Nobel Prize winner. In the year 2005, he was honored with the highest reward, the Nobel Prize for Literature. We all know that from the year 1901, they used to give this Nobel Prize for 5 different fields, namely it is peace, literature, physics, chemistry and medicine. So only for these 5 fields we are getting the Nobel Prize for Literature from Swedish Academy, and the highest reward in this world, that is Nobel Prize, it was given to Harold Pinter in the year 1957 for his contribution towards literature. He's not only a dramatist but also a screenwriter. Some of his best plays are, that is The Birthday Party, which was published in the year 1957, and The Dumb Waiter in the year 1957, The Homecoming in the year 1964, and then you have The Sjctnc in the year 1959. So this play, The Birthday Party, as already mentioned, it was published in the year 1957, and it clearly has a quality of an absurd drama. The characters in this reciprocates the theme of the absurd drama. And about some other information of this writer, he also wrote, as I mentioned, he was a script writer. He also wrote a screenplay for the plays, for the movies like the Go Between, The Homecoming, and interestingly, he wrote the script writing for The French Left-in Women, a novel which was published by John Fowles. So out of his contribution, that was made a script writing, and you have the great dramas of Harold Pinter in this way. So that's all about Harold Pinter in a nutshell. And from now onwards, we are going to discuss about Birthday Party, and as the name or the title of the drama signifies, it is about a birthday party of the protagonist called Stanley Weber. Okay. Um, you have this play that's centered on only 5 to 6 characters. So you have Stanley Weber, the protagonist of this drama, and then you have Meg and Petty, a couple who runs a mansion in the nearby place, and then you have Goldberg and McKinnon, who are the guests to the boarding house. At the same time, they can be termed into detectives, and you have one young girl. Her name is Lulu. So these are all some important characters, or the major characters that appears in this drama. And when the play begins, Meg and Petty, they'll be having a conversation about the breakfast, and Meg, she keeps on asking what the breakfast she is supposed to cook, but finally whatever every day she asks this question, and finally she ends up with cooking the cornflakes. A typical absurd drama aspect, that is trying things in routine. So this can be seen in that perspective. And in this boarding house, Petty, during the morning time, he used to sit and read newspaper, and after he finishes the reading of newspaper, he goes for the work also. And after this, she was asking about what are the foods she can cook for Stanley Weber, and she justifies that Stanley only likes the cornflakes and bread she cooks. And very soon she insists that he is going to come down, and he is going to have his breakfast. And Stanley arrives. In the meantime, Petty, he gets ready for the work, and whatever the needs of Stanley will be only satisfied by the Petty, because try to understand, they don't give a good or an apt explanation about the relationship between Meg and Stanley, and due to that we never know what sort of relationship they had. And sometimes she is present, a person who satisfies all the needs. Whenever this man Stanley needs something, it can only be done by the Meg, and she only takes care Stanley about his food and all. And this man, he stays in that mansion for a long time, but we never know for what purpose he is staying or what is the work he is doing. We come to know that he is a pianist, that is. And they used to have a conversation what are the playhouses he had been a pianist, and this conversation was going on at that time. And after this, Petty gets ready for his work, and he moves towards the office. And after that, they will be giving compliments about the talent of this man, Petty, Stanley, regarding the quality of playing pianos. And in the meantime, she introduces one important character, that is Lulu. Lulu will be appearing there, and she will be bringing a cover that is wrapped with a gift paper, and she keeps it separately. And she asks for a walk, but this man refuses. He refuses to go for a walk, and Lulu moves out with an upset mind. And during that time, Meg will be informing that 2 guests are going to arrive. Their name is Goldberg and McKinnon, and they are going to stay with us for a while. When Goldberg and McKinnon's name has been heard by Stanley, he gets furious, and he gets little sort of nervous, and he don't want to hear those names, and he don't want to listen to any one of these kind of names. And he uses to scold Meg for allowing them to stay in the mansion, but she says that her husband only informs her, and she gets ready their rooms also. And when he hears a car approaches towards the mansion, he leaves to the upstairs. And now Goldberg and McKinnon, they enter into the mansion, and Meg, she used to make a conversation with them, and she informs that today evening they are going to have a birthday party for Stanley Weber. Though Stanley refuses that it is not his birthday, Meg will be very peculiar that that evening the birthday party is going to happen and everyone should be there, and Goldberg and McKinnon, they are very curious to attend it, because the writer gives an impact that Goldberg and McKinnon have arrived there because of this Stanley. They have some accounts to be settled, and in that sense they have arrived there, and they make use of this opportunity. And during evening time, this person, that is Stanley, he comes down. Meg introduces Stanley Weber to others, that is to Goldberg and McKinnon, and they make him to sit. Once Meg moves towards kitchen, they used to question why you have murdered your wife and why you have cheated the company you have worked. So this sort of questions will be asked, and when Meg comes back, they stop questioning these things, and they used to have a normal conversation. And now the birthday party arrives, and in that meantime, Goldberg, McKinnon, Lulu make everyone presence there, and they start to have a conversation about what are the celebrations they can done. And Stanley Weber was gifted by a toy drum where he beats and roams around the room, and it looks lunatic because the man who is in his 30s, he is having a toy drum, and he's keep on shouting. That looks awkward in this sense, and this questions a lot. So what happens is, you have the concept of playing games during this birthday party. They plan to play blind man's puff, where Stanley's eyes were blindfolded, and during this Stanley was stripped down by the toy drum which he wore around his head, around his neck. And in the meantime, Goldberg, he will be having a conversation with the lady Meg, and McKinnon, he will be trying to make a sexual assault with the lady Lulu. So all these things will be happening at that time, and they used to torture Stanley by flashing off the light in his face, and in the meantime, when the power goes off, they strangle Stanley. They start to beat him, and when the power comes, everyone will be standing in an awkward position, and they correct themselves, and with that the birthday party comes to end with a great thump towards Stanley, where he couldn't speak against the violence that done to this person. And after this, the very next day, Petty and Meg, they used to do their daily routines, and she is speaking about yesterday's night, and Stanley comes from the upstairs, and he finds hard to speak because because of the attack of the Goldberg and McKinnon. He couldn't even speak. He struggles to utter a single word. And meanwhile, Goldberg informs Petty that they are telling him that they are taking him to a doctor. And Petty has some hesitation, but Goldberg's tone and his gigantic appearance made him to zip his mouth, and he becomes speechless. And with this, they plan to take him to home. They plan to take him to a hospital, and we never know whether really they have taken him to a hospital or whether they have taken him to be jailed in some places. We don't get any things. But Petty stands there as an unhelped person, and for Petty, Stanley is like his son. He is like his father figure. When he has been thrown out, he literally feels sad, but he is speechless, and he seeks the help of others, that someone should help, but he couldn't be in the place of helping to Stanley Weber. And Goldberg and McKinnon, they set the car and they start to drive away from the place, and Mick, she'll be asking where Stanley, and Petty will be informing that he is in upstairs. Very soon he'll be coming. can and then she goes and gets ready for the breakfast, like she every day she cooks the cornflakes and bread, likewise she plans to get into it. So the daily routine continues where Petty he starts to read the newspaper. So we need to imagine that this is how the play might have ended. So this is what, and one of the tenets of the absurd drama. So it's clear that the birthday party clearly portrays how it has been brought into the genre comedy of menace. So that's it. Thank you.